So good morning to all. So here we discuss about for role of lexical analyzer and input buffering. Okay. So in previous class we discussed for what is compiler, what is translator. So translator we are having for two things. One is compiler interpreter. So differentiate between compiler interpreter, differentiate between compiler and assembler. What is assembler? What are the type of assembler? One pass assembler, two pass assembler, multi-pass assembler, load and go assembler, debugging assembler. So here we are discussing for previous thing. Then how to draw the language pre-processing system. Why we are doing for the language pre-processing systems. So what are the type of what are the questions of comparing the language processing systems? Okay. So this is for the first class. So next thing we study for the discuss about for phases of compiler. So what is phase, what is pass? So in phase mean you got to compile the entire source programs. Pass mean you got to get for the one by one phases of the compilizations. So in phase of compilation we are having for two things. One is analysis phase, another one is synthesis phase. So analysis phase mean it's the front end of the compiler, synthesis phase back end of the compiler. So in analysis phase we are having for lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, semantic analyzer. So the analysis phase, it is depending on the source program, but independent of the target program. We didn't get the any output from the analysis phase. But synthesis phase, it is depending on this target program, independent on the source program. So synthesis phase comes under for the code optimization and code generations. So what about intermediate code generation? It is the representation of intermediate between the analysis to synthesis phase. So this analysis to synthesis phase work, it comes for both intermediate presentation being come for the both phases. What about error handling management, symbol table manager? So both will be applicable for the all the phases, lexical phase to code generation phase. So each and every phase will be generating for one tools. That is nothing but, so lexical analyzer is nothing but scanner. You can scanning the entire source program from left to right, then generate the token. So generating the tool for scanner generator. So what is the second phase? Syntax analyzer. It will be generating the tool for parsing generator. So it is automatically checking for the parsing tree construction for the given input of the source programs. So each and every phase is depending upon the previous phases only. Okay, it's clear. Then semantic analysis didn't generate for any tools. Then next phase is intermediate code generation. It will be generating for syntax directed translation engine. So each and every statement will be generating for the one scheme, translation scheme. So it will be discussed later for the third unit of. So the first NDA will be discussed for the first phase of the lexical analyzer. Second unit will be covered for the second phase of syntax analyzer. Third unit will be covered for the semantic phase and intermediate code generation. The fourth unit covers for the code optimization. The fifth unit will be covered for the code generation. So all the phases will be covered for the entire syllabus of module 1 to module 5. Okay, it's clear. Then code optimization will be generating tool for data flow engines. So the data can be flow from one machine to the another machine. Then code generation will be generating the tool for automatic code generators. Okay. So what are the analysis and synthesis phases of tools in the given compilation? So one is pretty printer, structure editor, static checker, interpreter. So these are the four tools for the analysis and synthesis phase of compilation. So structure editor means you got to write any program, it will be written in the form of some hierarchical structure. Pretty printer, you got to clearly visible for the all the entire source program. Then static checker, you are checking the entire source program. If it is any error is there, you got to debugging the program, then execute the given programs. So the last rule is interpreter. You know that each and every program got to line by line execution of the given source program is called interpreter. So these are the tools for the analysis and synthesis phase of compilizations. Okay. This is for the previous class. Then specification of token. What is token, pattern, lexeme. then union operation, concatenation operation, clinic closure, positive closure. So clinic closure means one or more instance, zero or more instance. So zero or more means you got to starting the value from empty along with some input symbol. Positive closure means one or more instance. One or more means you're starting the value from, for example, A plus means the starting value will be indicated for A, triple A, something, and so on. Then character classes. Okay, A question mark character classes. So within the class will be indicated for the 0 or 1 instance. So here this is for the previous class. So what about the next topic? So in today's topic, role of lexical analyzer and input buffering. So what is role of lexical analyzer? Here, it's the first phase of the compiler. So what we'll do the first phase is you have to read the entire source program. After reading the entire source program, left to right manner, then generating the token. The token will be given into the syntax analyzer. Syntax analyzer, what will do? You have to receive the token from the lexical analyzer. Again, you give the command to the lexical analyzer. I receive the token. You have to produce the get next token command to be given from the lexical analyzer. Who give parser to the lexical analyzer. After generating all the tokens, it will be generating from the stored from the symbol table instruction. So this is the main theme for role of lexical analyzer. Okay. So here, in role of lexical analyzer, we are having for the next token is a command which is sent from the parser to the lexical analyzer. It will be generating the token, then and receiving the command. Then what will do? The parser receive the token from the lexical analyzer. You have to produce the get next token from the command. So it will be returned to the token to the parsers. But the lexical analyzer, what will do? It skip the white spaces and commands while creating the tokens. Then if any error will be occurring for the given token, the lexical analyzer will correlate that error with the source file and line numbers. So what are the tasks to be performed for the lexical analyzer? Helps to identify the token in the symbol table, remove the white space and command from the source program, correlating error message with the source program, then read the entire input character from the source program and produce the tokens. So produce the token as the output. So what is token? What is lexeme? For example, I am giving the expression A. A is the identifier, but identifier is a token. But what is lexeme? A is a lexeme. You are specifying the given expression is called lexeme. You have to identify the correlate to the some other values representing for the tokens. So what are the issues in the lexical analyzer? First thing, simplicity design, compiler efficiency to be improved, then compiler portable to be enhanced. So this is two more questions for write the issues in lexical analyzer. Man, you have to write for this thing. Simplicity of design of compiler. That is, you have to remove the white space and command from the syntax analyzer for the construction. Then, if improve the efficiency, enhance the portability. So this type of lexical analysis will be divided into the two processes. First thing is scanning. Second thing is lexical analysis. So scanning means you have to performing the reading the input character from the given instruction, given expression. Then and it's also remove the white space and commands. Then what is the lexical analyzer? You have to produce the token as the outputs. Okay. So this is for the. So you explain the role of lexical analyzer mean you got to explain for this diagram with explanation. Then perform the task of lexical analyzer. What are the issues in the lexical analyzer? Then what are the tasks to be provided for the given lexical analyzer? It will be for two processes. One thing is scanning, another thing is lexical analysis. Okay. Next thing you have to write for the what are the error to be generating for the lexical. You are doing given expression. You have to read the input from the source program. Then read the character from the left to right manner. After reading the character, it will be generating for the tokens. It will be producing for some errors. What are the error? The first one is a character sequence that cannot be scanned into any valid token is the lexical errors. The lexical errors are uncommon, but they still must be handled by the scanners. They will be identified by the scanner. So scanner scanning the entire source program, then only it will be producing for the tokens. Next thing, misspelling of an identifier, keyword or operator are considered by the lexical analyzer. So usually the lexical analyzer is beginning of the, you got to specify the token. It will be any error, it will be indicating to the common for the lexical themes. Okay. Then you got to write for the advantage and disadvantage of lexical analyzer. Okay. So this is for the role of lexical analyzer. So explain the role of lexical analyzer mean you got to draw the diagram. Based on the diagram, you got to explain it. Then write the issues in the lexical analyzer. What are the tasks of the lexical analyzer? Then what are the errors in the lexical analyzer? Then advantage and disadvantage of lexical analyzer. So this is the, so the lexical analyzer is nothing but it's the first phase of the compiler to produce a token based on the instruction to read the input character from left to right, then produce the tokens. Okay. Okay. What is the next thing? Input buffering schemes. What is next thing? Input buffering. So input buffering mean basically you are reading the character from the input to left to right. So each and every time you have to read the character for one character at a time. One character at a time. So in this input buffering, you are automatically going to generate the token for lexical analyzer. That is the main theme for lexical analyzer. So what we'll do in input buffering, we are having for two buffers. One thing is PP, second one is FP. PP mean beginning of pointers, FP mean forward pointers. So usually these 2 pointers always starting from the first character itself. First character itself. So here I am giving the expression integer I comma j. I will be equal to j plus 1, j will be equal to j plus 1. This is the initial configuration. But in input buffering, we are having for both the pointer will be start from the beginning of the characters. So what we'll do, until you go to identify the token, the forward can be moved from the next part. When we'll complete the process, once they identify the token, after that any white space will be occur, the token will be found, then you got to stop the process. Then only the beginning pointer can be moved from the next instruction, next characters. Here check, this is the initial configuration. Next thing, the forward pointer to be moved from the end of the lexeme. Check BP will be beginning of point will be starting from the first character. The forward pointer can move from the next characters. Check next character. But in the beginning pointer not move from the next characters. When will stop? Once you go to find the encode the blank space. So the blank space will be appear for after t, the blank space will be appear. So you have to identify the token. What is the token? INT is a tokens. So once the token is identifier, so integer is a token. Then what we'll do? The white space will be occur. Then only the beginning pointer can move from the next part of I. The next thing what we'll do? Beginning of pointers, then forward pointer can be moved from the same positions. Okay. This is for the input characters. So why we are using for input in this character, the data can be always stored from the secondary storage. But you got to reading the way of secondary storage, it is costly. So then only we are using for buffering technique is used. For example, I am giving you for 500 characters. 500 characters. So but in this 500 characters, it is not equal to take for the to identify the tokens. To identify the token. For example, here in this expression integer space I comma j, I will be equal to j plus 1, j will be equal to j plus 1. So each and every character will be stored for, will be required for the one system calls. For example, I am giving for the 1000 character mean I will require for 1000 system call. But it is not possible to save for the all the data will be saved from the hard disk. Not possible to get for the 1000 system calls. So we are using for the, so each and every character will be using this technique. We are requiring for the each and every character will be required for one system call. For example, I am making for 1000 character mean I require for the 1000 system call. So it is not possible to identify for the given token. Then what will do? So instead of this scheme, I am using for the buffering technique is used. So in this technique, for example, I am taking for the 500 characters. So each and every character will be divided into the some buffering block of data can be read. So block of data is first read into the buffer and then second by the lexical analyzer. Okay. So 500 character means, so the first block will be indicated for the 100 characters. Next block will be indicated for the, so first block will be indicated for the 1 to 100. Second block 101 to 200. Third block 201 to 300. Fourth block 401 to, so this is 301 to 400. Fifth block 401 to 500. So each and every block will be required for the only 100 characters. So based on the system call, it will be required, it will be straight from the hard disk drive, but I can't identify the token. Then only I'm going for the block of data. So in this block of data, I have to identify for the two buffering scheme, two buffering techniques. Buffering technique will be used for the two schemes. One scheme is one buffer scheme, another scheme is two buffer schemes. Okay, check here. One buffer scheme is, for example, same thing, beginning pointer, forward pointer. The each and every character will be start from the first character itself. So each and every character will be required for the one system calls. So FB will be moved from the until identify the token, but the white space will be occurred. It will be stop the, once the token is identified, FB will be commonly moved from the next character. Otherwise, only forward pointer will be moved from the next characters. So here previously I told I am having for 500 character mean the first block of data will be stored for the 1 to 100. So 1 to 100 mean I have to identify for the 1 to 100. I have to identify for the tokens. So once the 100 tokens will be identified, again I will store for the 101 to 200 for same buffering, same block of data. Then what will do? So only last finally I will be get for the first block of data only I will be getting this tokens. Remaining I didn't got the data. So some drawback will be occurring for the one buffering schemes. So I can't identify the rest of the token, rest of the character I didn't identify the token. So the overcoming of this problem, I can go for these two buffer schemes. So what will we do in two buffer scheme? In this method, you got to store the data from the input string. I can create for the two buffer. One is buffer 1, second one is buffer 2. What will do? In first buffer, I will be saved for the first 100 character. Second buffer, I will be saved for the second 100 characters. How to check? In first buffer, I can read the first 100 character. In end of the buffer 1, I can indicate for the EOF. EOF means end of files. So end of file is nothing but it is not part of the source program. It is manually identified. I can search for the, I can identify the token for first 100 character. I completed for the first 100 character. That is the indication purpose. I'll be indicate for the EOF file, end of file. So after that, what we'll do? So in buffer 1, all the 100 characters are completed. Then I can go for the next buffer, next 101 to 200 characters. After that, it will indicate for the EOF end of file. So this is for the buffering schemes. This is for the found buffering scheme. So when forward pointer encounter the first end of file, then you can recognize the end of first buffer. Then filling up the second buffer is to be started. The same way you can do for the, after indicating all the characters, it will be indicating for the end of file. So the end of file is EOF is nothing but end of file. It is not part of the source program. It is nothing but called sentential. It is used to identify the end of the buffer. So the first 100 character will be indicated. I can identify the token, it will be indicated for the end of file. Next thing, end of file. So this is for the two buffer scheme. Similar that you got to store for the next similar 300 characters. So this is for the two buffer scheme. This is the algorithm for two buffer scheme. Once you got to check if forward at the end of the first half, then begin reload second half. Okay, here check. I reload the first half. After first half is completed, then reload the second half. Reload the second half. Then what we'll do? The forward pointer can be moved from the forward +1. +1 will be indicated, but the beginning of pointer will be indicated for the same position. Once the token is identified, then only the beginning of pointer can move from the next tokens. Here check if forward of the end of the second half, then begin reload the first half. Okay. Here then I check the first half will be, second half will be completed. Then I can indicate for the end of it. Then I can go for the first half. Similar that how many characters are available for the given instruction, you got to do for the same similar thing of the process. Then move forward to the beginning of first half. Then else forward +1. This is the algorithm for the input buffering schemes. Okay, it's clear. So in role of lexical analyzer is You got to indicate for the first phase of the compiler. You got to read the character from the given instruction from left to right. Once identify the character, it will be generating for the token. The token can be saved from the parsing. The parser what will do, once receive the token, again give the command to the lexical analyzer. I receive the token, you got to identify the next token from the given lexical analyzer. Then after that, all the data can be solved from the symbol table instructions. Okay, it's clear. Then the white space and comments also will be leave from the lexical analyzers. This is for the role of lexical analyzer. So next thing, input buffering. So input buffering scheme, your symbol only 2 to 3 instruction mean you have to easy to identify the token. But for 1000 character, 500 character mean we can't identify the token for the lot of instruction. So what we'll do, then we are going for the input buffering scheme. In this scheme, each and every character you have to identify for the one system call. Then all the system calls will be saved from the data can be saved from the hard disk drive, secondary storage drive. But we can't identify for each and every system call. 1000 character mean we need for the 1000 system call. We can't get the token. So then only we are based on the system call requirement purpose, we are going for the buffering scheme. In buffering scheme, what we'll do, we got to indicate for the character from block of data. For example, I am having 500 character. I got to identify the token for the 500 character mean I got to segregate for the block of data. So the first block will be indicate for the 1 to 100. Second block is 101 to 200. Third block is 201 to 300. Then fourth block 301 to 400. Fifth block 501, 401 to 500. So each and every block indicate for the characters. So input buffering we are having for two things. One is one buffer, another one is two buffer. One buffer mean what we'll do? Only one buffer is used to store the input stream. But the problem of the one put buffering scheme, if the lexeme is very long, it crosses the buffer boundary. So the rest of the lexeme, you got to identify for the next 100 character will be refilled for the same first 100 characters. Then overwriting for the first of lexeme. So the overcoming of this drawback of the one buffer scheme, we go for the two buffer scheme. So in what we'll do in two buffer scheme, we are having for two blocks. So the first block is buffer 1, second block is buffer 2. So each and every block we are storing for the 100 characters. So the buffer 1 is completed. How to identify? You got to indicate for the last word is EOF, end of buffer. But the end of file is not part of the source program. Only identification purpose only it will be indicate for end of file. It is nothing but called sentential. It is used to identify the end of buffer. That is the first 100 character I have to read, then identify the token, then you can go for the next buffer. Same thing, buffer 2 also you have to indicate for the end of files. So similarly, you have to recognize the end of the buffer mark. It's present at the end of the second buffers. So the forward pointer encount the first EOF end of file. Then you can recognize the end of first buffer. Then filling up the second buffer is started. So this is for the algorithm. So based on the algorithm, it is indicated. So alternately, both the buffer can be filled up. The end of the program, then you have to identify the stream of tokens. So the end of file is nothing but sentential, which is used to identify the end of buffer. It is called input buffering schemes. Okay, it's clear. So today we discussed about role of lexical analyzer, then input buffering scheme. So both questions are part B questions only. So explain the input buffering scheme in, you got to draw the, explain the input buffering scheme, then you got to draw the diagram, explanation, then one buffer, two buffer, you got to write it. So role of lexical analyzer mean, you got to draw the diagram, then you got to write for the steps in the lexical analyzer, then task in the lexical analyzer, then issues in the lexical analyzer, then error in the lexical analyzer. So this is for the today's session.